Hi friends, Stevie here. Welcome to Absolutely Arms Part 2. This one's all about Peacock. This is a mini flow that gives you the opportunity to play with the arm balance Peacock, one of the less common arm balances. Now we won't be doing a ton of breakdown of the flow, which is arm heavy for sure. And if you want more of that breakdown, go to Absolutely Arms 1, where we break down the mini loop without worrying about arm balances. It's still arm heavy, but we talk about some things that you can do to make it a little bit more accessible. And a reminder, as we do the pulls from downward facing dog to chaturanga and back, it doesn't have to be your biggest, deepest chaturanga, right? Lessening that bend will make this a lot more accessible. Do you need props? Not really, although I do find that different bodies really react differently to Peacock just based on bony proportions. So having some blocks handy or even a bolster that you can end up putting under your forehead or your legs, depending on what's happening, can be very helpful. So gather whatever you'd like and I'll meet you on your space.
This practice is brought to you by Aloha Yoga, a cork-powered mat and accessory company with a focus on enhanced grip for confident and creative movement. No towel, no problem. Yaloha offers the ability to move freely without fear of slipping, even in your sweatiest practice, all while embracing artistic expression through their unique mat designs. Check out the video caption for a link to view their products, or visit our Grow Together page to learn more about why Authentic Movements continues to choose Yaloha.
We'll jump right into it with a mini warm-up and then get into our looping flow for a couple rounds before we do a super quick breakdown of Peacock. Come into a tabletop position with your hands somewhat under your shoulders and your knees somewhat under your hips. Rock the weight forward and back, forward and back. As you rock forward, grip with the fingers. Continue that grip as you send the weight back. Think about long spine, leading with the crown of the head, and a long tailbone out the back. Lift the low ribs away from the floor. Place a tiny bend in your elbows and continue this rock. Now, the next time you rock forward, pause. As you rock back, can you peel the hands off the ground, keeping that same amount of wrist extension? You might find your finger shape, small bend in the elbows, lift the low ribs. Rock forward, passive stretch. Keep the amount of extension as you rock back. I like to think about a little grip of the fingers, a little bit of flexion like I'm squeezing something, kind of irradiating through my fingers, and it actually allows me to get more extension through my wrists. Rock forward, rock back and squeeze. Rock forward, rock back and squeeze, embrace the shake. Rock forward, rock back and squeeze. One more time like that. Rock forward, rock back and squeeze. Great. Turn your hands to the side. Gently rock side to side. You can keep some looseness through the fingers here. Now turn your hands back behind you. Fingers facing towards your knees, and let a little stretch here. Now, traditional Peacock does have the hands facing directly backwards, often touching at the forearms. That doesn't always work for everybody, so I encourage you to play. I like my hands slightly turned out and my arms a little bit further apart. The trick with Peacock for a lot of people is that the elbows go much lower than you think. It's not just about like laying the chest on the elbows. You literally have to like walk the elbows down almost to your belly button or below. And that can be hard, especially if we have a little bit more up top. So, keep that in mind and adjust accordingly. Sometimes one-arm Peacock is crazily easier than two-armed. You can just keep the other hand off to the side. Any more rocks down here? And let's get started. From your tabletop, move your hands forward another 6 to 8 inches. Tuck your toes, grip with your fingers. Bend your elbows wide and then wrap them towards the back of the mat, keeping the bend in the elbows. Hover your knees off the floor. Beast pose. Lift the low ribs. Length through the crown of the head, long spine. Grip the floor. Pause. Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. All right, remember our pull throughs here. Bend the elbows, bend the knees. Pull through to a low plank. Bend the knees, send yourself back, keeping the bend in the elbows until you get to your down dog. Bend the elbows, bend the knees, pull through long spine, push back. Again, like that. Pull through long spine, push back. One more. Pull through long spine, push back. Beautiful. Lift the right leg, bend the knee, open the hip. Step the right foot halfway up into your space. Push your hands off the ground, landing your hands onto your right knee. Roll over the left toe here, balancing and hovering that left foot off the ground. Long spine. Can you release the hands, bring your elbows in towards the side body and flip the palms? Think about active wrist extension here, but gripping with the fingers, and do some lifts of the back leg. You remember this from the first week. We just changed the hand position. We're not supporting ourselves. Bend more into the bottom leg. Squeeze through the booty because the legs feel heavy in Peacock for a lot of us. Unless you have perfect proportions for Peacock specifically. Lift and squeeze. Lift and squeeze. Keep the long spine. Lift and squeeze. One more. Lift and squeeze. Beautiful. Lower the back foot. Lower the hands. Okay. Rock more into the right side and flip to the inside edge of that back foot. You can lift your left hand or keep it down as you pull your right knee towards your right armpit. Here's our pistols. We're only going behind this time. Send the right leg behind the left, bend into the left, keep the sit bones hovering, and pull back knee to armpit. Pistol, knee to armpit. Pistol, knee to armpit. One more. Pistol, knee to armpit. Three-legged dog, right leg into the sky. Okay, now shorten your down dog, whether that's hands back or foot forward. Do you remember those pushes that we did last week where we pushed our hands and we landed in down dog? You can do those again. Or if you'd like, you can push to a single leg down dog. Now, I suggest that you keep your right leg low. I almost like to tuck it behind my left knee here and shrink my down dog a little bit more. Push, 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 push. Bend into those elbows, load the spring, and keeping the hips low. Pop to the back of the mat, catching that single leg balance a little harder. Walk forward. Tiny down dog. That's too big. I can't do it. You can also try with the leg in the air, and that might be easier for you. I do suggest you keep the legs active, and that makes it easier for me. Bend, pop. Whoa. Catch the balance. Walk forward. Strong legs are still important for Peacock. Bend, pop. Whoa. Catch the balance. And lower down to your shins at the back of your mat space. One little camel just to flesh it out here. Hands to the pelvis, fingers face down. Lift the chest. Not really about the back bend, more about the hip extension. So pull your pubic bone towards your sternum and squeeze. Keep the hip extension here, back out of the chest. But notice I'm squeezing through my booty and I'm pulling my pubic bone up. Take your arms out to a side in cactus and then wrap them down. Now, if you have a lot of chest material, you may need to pull up your breasts and have that space to squeeze in towards the midline. Flip the palms. You may be down closer to your belly button. You may not be. Sit your hips down. Widen your knees. For most of us, this will be a more comfortable entrance. Not for everybody, but for most. So widen the knees. And then flip the palms. Maybe not fingertips directly backwards, maybe slightly out, so that the hands come to the floor. Walk yourself forward. We're not going into Peacock right now. Walk yourself forward, awkward. So you're like, wow, I could really fall on my face. And you might, but the floor is really close. Walk yourself forward and just experiment with sending the left leg behind you. That's the one that lifted in the Warrior 3. So just experiment. Maybe you want to hover it, maybe not. If you hover, you can do some taps. Great. Bring it in. Roll through the wrists. Let's go back and do the other side. So, back to your downward facing dog. Prepare for those pull throughs. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Pull through, long spine. Push back. Pull through, chaturanga. Push back. Grip with the fingers here. Pull through, chaturanga. Push back. Two more. Pull through, chaturanga. Push back. One more. Pull through, chaturanga. Push back. Nice. Lift that left leg. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step the left foot halfway up into your space. Push off the hands, land the hands, whoa, onto that left knee. Roll over the back foot. Okay, now here's our lift and hover again, but the option is to keep your hands on your legs or to wrap your forearms down, flip your palms, squeeze, lean forward, shift forward, long spine, lift and squeeze through that right booty. Lift and squeeze. Keep a bend in the bottom leg, lift and squeeze. I'm shaking, lift and squeeze, lift and squeeze, lift and squeeze. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the back foot, lower the hands. It's time for our pistol squat. Lean to the left side, left knee, left armpit. Send it behind. Keep the hips hovering off the ground at all times. Pull it back in. Grip with that bottom arm. Push. Pistol. Push. Pistol. Push. Pistol. push. One more. Pistol, push, three-legged dog. Okay, now remember our pop backs? This time it's with the left leg lifted. I'm gonna keep mine low because that works better for me, but I also like to shrink my downward facing dog a lot, okay? Grip with the fingers, bend your elbows wide, and then pop to try to catch the balance. Yeah, it's a lot. Walk the hands forward, pop, try to catch the balance. And you can bring your chest up. It's generally easier to bring your chest up a little bit for these single leg ones while keeping it low for the double. One more time. Bend and pop. Woo. Lower to your shins. One little camel to flush. Okay. From your camel, keep the hip extension. Booty squeeze, pubic bone lifted. Take your arms out to the side. Wrap them down low. Move your breast tissue and walk your elbows lower. Sit, widen the knees. Here we are again. You could experiment, maybe change the hands a little bit from last time. Do you want them closer together, even if the arms aren't close together? Do you want to try to get the forearms closer together? You're making a shelf with your arms for your body, your upper body, but because our lower body is really long, you want the shelf generally to be down a little bit lower. Now, what can you do to shorten your load lever? You can bend your back legs. So this time, well, we got to do the other leg first. So anyway, put your hands down in whatever position works for you this time. Wiggle your knees forward. Walk your elbows lower. Now, take the right leg back behind you and play with the idea of hovering or lifting. Great. Return to seat. Okay, so how do you get from this to peacock? And really, there's so many different ways. The most common one is what we just did, then allowing your head to come down, your forehead to come down to the floor or maybe a bolster, and then sending your legs back behind you and finding the lever position. Okay, so if this is your first time doing it, it might look something like this. I'm gonna start maybe halfway up on my mat because I know I'm gonna wiggle a lot a little bit. Scoop, scoop. Even now, I gotta move my boobs out of the way a little bit. Put my hands down. I like my forearms, they're about 6 inches apart. Wiggle, waddle my knees up higher. And then it is a bit of trust, right? The more I bend my elbows, the closer to the ground I am. But I don't wanna just curl my head down, right? I wanna think long spine. So as I bring my head, donk. My head's on the floor and I'm actually gonna walk it forward. No, just that's good. And then I get back up one leg and then the other. From here, I can experiment with lifting a leg and maybe even lifting a head. Now, what's lifting me up? The shelf, sure, but it's the entire chain of my back body that is lifting me up. And if you find that one part of you is impossible to lift, the front or the back, lean into that, explore. Is your upper body too heavy to lift when your legs lift really easily? Well, maybe you don't actually want to go down so low with your elbows. Are your legs feeling impossible? Bend them. So another version of peacock is butterfly legs, right? It might look something like this. And for this one, I don't really have to go down quite as low because my load lever is smaller. One thing that I do suggest for people who are playing with this is, yes, your abs are working, your anterior, your front core is working. You have to almost brace so that your elbows don't just like stab you, especially if you have pointy elbows like I do. So yes, but your back body is working a ton too. So one thing that we didn't do in that mini flow is a ton of back body work outside of the outside of the Warrior 3 lift up. There's a lot of booty squeeze, and there's a whole line of the back body. Now, I'd argue that anytime we're doing a kind of a plank or chaturanga, we want both sides of our bodies to be doing a tug of war. But if you're like, I can't feel my back body, it might be nice to take a little break and do a locust, and you can keep the elbows close by the side. Not about the back bend, just about a little hover off the floor, or like a no-handed cobra, especially if your upper body is the one that feels like it's a little heavy. Not thinking about a deep back bend, thinking more about just like connecting the brain to the body. So whether you've been trying along with me or you haven't yet, let's jump into another attempt at peacock. And again, if the falling forward is what scares you, you can grab a bolster if you like something soft, or a block if you like something sturdy. I do find the hardest thing about this is that like I have to aim for it versus if I have this big ass bolster. Then it's like I can go as far forward as I want. It just might be harder to get off of. So again, I'm gonna walk my hands back. It's super awkward to get into. Kind of come forward. I'm gonna do the straight leg variation again. So I walk forward. Hello, bolster. Let's be friends. Ugh. This is not my favorite. Ugh. Lift. Right, and so that is not my preference. The straight-legged version is hard for me in general, but I need such like a big shift forward, and this feels too high for me to do. I almost need the lever load. So I would probably do just like a folded blanket or something for me personally. But I will say for most bodies, especially if you really don't want to wiggle the elbows down quite so low, trying a butterfly with the feet and really pressing the feet together, or a diamond, it doesn't have to be like a deep butterfly, pressing the feet together and squeezing your booty. So if you want to, you could try a no-handed cobra, pardon me, Rue, in a butterfly, which is kind of weird because it's like middle splits. You push, you squeeze your booty, and you do kind of a really low no-handed cobra, right? There are other ways to do peacock. If you've ever done our block tower flow with me, and I know I'm just blabbing, you could be trying all this while I'm just talking. If you've ever done our block tower flow, then we could build a block tower with 2 blocks and or a blanket on top. And this gives you have to put your hands a little wider, obviously, but this gives you a platform to experiment. So everyone, not everyone, but many people can experiment with peacock. This gives you a good place to practice like pushing the feet together, squeezing the booty, seeing like, oh, which one do I like? You can put the blocks farther or closer. You can practice hugging the elbows in. So that is a really good place. The last thing I want to add, because I do want to keep this really short, since you guys asked for like arm balance bites, which is hard to do, is one-handed peacock is often easier for most people. One-handed peacock doesn't mean we have to keep just one hand on the ground. It just means one arm's in peacock position and the other one's out to the side. And this is much more my preference. In still a butterfly. So if I scoop my right arm into peacock and then I walk my left hand forward, it helps guide me. It's less scary to fall down. I put my right elbow right inside of my hip bone, my ASIS, and then I can play with finding the balance. I still don't touch the floor there, right? Whoa. Push and squeeze, and play with this. Action, right? And it's still hard to get into. It's still awkward, but there's something much more spacious about this. If you're like, okay, I don't like this arm balance, I get it. A lot of people really hate this arm balance. If you're like, well, I don't know why, because it works out great for me, this is really easy, right? For not a lot of people, for some people, their proportions are just right. Their bony proportions are just right, and they can easily find that tipping point, right? And that's why, not writing off one arm balance just because it's easy or hard for you, not writing off all the arm balances based on one is so important. If you're done playing with peacock and you're like, okay, that's fine. I just did a mini flow, roll through the wrists with me for a moment, wiggle the fingers, maybe cactus the arms, stretch your chest forward, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, twist over to the right. Use your hands to adjust you. You can be seated in any position. It doesn't matter. Release, stretch your arms up, and twist over to the left. Soften out of this. Again, wiggle the fingers and roll through the wrists. It can feel like a lot on the wrists. What can help is more bent arm strength, really gripping with your fingers. That kind of irradiation leads up through the arm bones and helps take the pressure off the wrist. Plus, sometimes gives you a little bit more mobility. And playing with the setup for your body. I have like a 3-hour workshop on peacock that we used to do for the 300 hour. So like doing it in 15 minutes is a whole different thing, but it's been a really fun challenge. So thank you for joining me. Again, if you're like, I don't know what on earth we just did, go back to Absolutely Arms 1 and check out the base flow. We have other ones coming with chin stand and with some of the other arm balances like 8-angle or elephant's trunk. Just because y'all have been asking me for these mini arm balance bites, especially for the less common arm balances. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to visiting with you again, and have a great day.